Welcome back to Dying Light 2. In this video I want to talk to you about Techland fixing the game and how that is really good, but at the same time it is not acceptable. And before we do jump into the video, if you're not currently subbed to the channel, make sure you do sub, turn notifications on. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like, all support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to support me further as a creator, then check out the links in the description and let's get into it. So, Dying Light 2 released on Feb 4th, 2022. And we have heard about the game on and off for the last 4 years. It was initially announced in 2018. And when the game did come out, or shortly before it come out, there were early review copies going around. IGN picked up on a load of bugs. Then they said there's a day one patch coming with over 1,000 bug fixes. Players got excited, like this game's going to be in a really good state at launch and all that sort of stuff. And that hasn't been the case. And no matter how many times people want to try and deny it or defend the company, the proof is right there because they are constantly putting out fixes. I've had people come to the channel and say, you must be on a fucking McDonald's Wi-Fi connection because co-op's working fine for me. And then you look at the bug fixes and in there they have fixing issues in co-op. So they do exist, it's just for some players they're not there. And no matter how many times people try and defend this shit, I'm going to point it out. Not because I want to sit there and complain all the time, not because I want to moan. I want to be able to enjoy my games. I do this because I don't want people wasting their money and giving money to companies that have billions of dollars and they just release shitty products. If this was any other line of work, if it was a restaurant you go in and there's something wrong with the food, you're going to be questioned. But the gaming industry get away with it. If you go and purchase a car and one of your tyres is missing, you're going to kick off. You're going to get your tyre there and then. I mean, they wouldn't even sell you a car without a tyre in the first place. But games come out, they have issues left, right and centre. People defend it and say, oh yeah, but it's not too much money. Oh, but these developers are trying their hardest. Oh, there's excuse after excuse. They should not be approving these games and releasing them in the state they are releasing them in. And I've got a video upcoming. I'm not sure if it will be my last for Dying Light 2. We'll have to see how it goes. But I have a video coming up and I'm compiling a list of issues that have been in the game, like even before the game officially released, when it did launch, and issues that were found after. And another thing that people need to pick up on is they said, don't play the game until the game is released. Don't play it early. Yet they gave out early review copies. And they were trying to get everyone to steer clear of co-op. And that was for a very good fucking reason. If people were allowed to review co-op, they would have had so many worse reviews. But they are working on the game. They are fixing the issues. However, that don't mean you praise them, because they never should have released the game in that much of a buggy state in the first place. It's nice, it's appreciated that we no longer have to go through lots of the issues, but they don't exactly deserve praise because those issues shouldn't have been there. QA should have done their jobs and tested it properly if the QA teams actually exist anymore. Development should have gone better and publishing shouldn't have rushed the game out. But taking a look at these images, and I believe on PC the fixes are available already, it says ready for implementation, various game crashing bugs, so there's proof the game crashes for a lot of people, various situations that could cause infinite black screens, AI dead body replication in co-op, DLSS improvements, issues with players that couldn't sell valuables to vendors. We are working on issues with mouse key binding, adding gaming mice support for custom buttons, blocks resulting in players ending in a death loop, various story blocks, possibility to enable English VO if local language is not English, adding backup saves, exposing additional video settings, visual bugs sometimes visible in hospital, in markers of plague quest. So adding backup saves, that's probably because of all of the corrupted game save files. I mean, just add in a manual save and let people save multiple times. That would help fix that one too. Various story blocks, there are a lot. Blocks resulting in players ending in a death loop. That should have been polished out before the game released. And before anyone comes up with other excuses saying, oh yeah, but at least they're getting it fixed now. They've taken your money. £90 for the Ultimate Edition, £60 for Standard. They've taken your money for this game and it's a release now, fix later situation yet again. Okay, so I'm going to keep the PlayStation fixes on screen and I won't bother with the Xbox ones, because besides the very bottom one under ready for implementation, they're exactly the same. So this is for both Xbox and PlayStation. This is essentially console fixes over PC. So ready for implementation, issues with connection stability, various situations when players could be disconnected in co-op, various game crashing bugs, issue with players that couldn't sell valuables to vendor, issue with music streamer mode causing one song to not be muted, and people will go, oh yeah, but that's only if you're streaming, blah blah blah. If you get copyright strikes and stuff on YouTube, or you get your streams taken down due to DMCA on Twitch, it's a very, I don't even know how to word it. It's a dangerous situation. Like, these can result in your channels being terminated. These can result in court cases. Copyright is a very, very sort of strong thing, especially within content creation. So accidentally not muting one song that's going to cause copyright strikes on YouTube, DMCA takedowns on Twitch, that is not acceptable. Because one wrong move from a content creator and they can lose their channel entirely. So with a game having a streamer mode and people thinking they're safe when they're actually not safe, that's not fair. That shit should have been gone through thoroughly before release. However, moving on, issue with AI being immortal in some rare situations while playing in co-op. There's a lot of co-op issues in this game. And it's not just issues with connection stability, it's also that co-op doesn't actually let you connect half the time. Some people have said, yeah, but you need to have less than 300 friends on Steam. I play on Xbox, and across all platforms I have less than 300 friends on each and every one of them. So that doesn't work for everyone on every platform. It's just apparently, for some reason, it could work if you make sure you've got less than 300 friends, but you shouldn't have to do that to connect online in a game. But there are also various issues with stealth gameplay in co-op. There are various issues when AI could be blocked in geometry, various AI visual adjustments and balance improvements, rare issues when peers in co-op mode are unable to see the dialogue choices. There are also game-breaking bugs in co-op. So when you jump into a co-op game, play for a little bit, back out, you're unable to upgrade your own stuff in your solo story progression. Various performance optimizations, fast travel limitation after the game is complete, various situations that could cause infinite black screens. A lot of people are also complaining on PC that they cannot even load into the game at the moment. AI dead body replication in co-op, and then PS5 specific, occasional screen flickering on PS5. But not only that, I had a quick brush through the thread of the patch notes on Steam, because 1.0.4 is out on Steam now, and people are saying that they're experiencing more issues since the update released. So again, it seems as though not everything has been checked in a technical point, like from a technical point of view, and it seems as though the patch isn't actually 100% stable. But then we are working on various story blocks, additional video settings including motion blur, because you know, a AAA title that cost you a load of money in 2022 didn't release with things like motion blur. Consoles don't have an FOV slider or anything like that. You have nothing in terms of advanced settings when you're on console. They're also going to be adding backup saves, the possibility to enable English VO if local language is not English, and blocks resulting in player ending in a death loop. So across all platforms you have the death loops, you have issues with the save files, you have story blocks all over the place, and people are saying the game is working fine. People also say this is your own experience, this is what you're experiencing, and that comes down to the Night Runner safe house bug that I had. And I was looking through other comments and threads and stuff, and I saw that once it happens to one Night Runner safe house, it typically happens to other ones, but people are saying they experienced the exact same one as what I did. But people are saying, oh, it's very subjective, this is just what you're experiencing, everyone's different. And I know in a lot of cases that is the issue, that is going to be player specific and it goes on a case-by-case basis. But I've seen the bugs that I report be reported from a lot of other players as well. So whilst I'm finding them in my experience when I'm playing the game and reporting them on my YouTube channel in my video on how the game plays for me, the issues are still a lot broader than what a typical sort of like player finds. So you could have someone going through this game and they're saying there's 0 bugs at all in 50 hours of gameplay, co-op works absolutely fine for them, and then you go to their friend next door and they're having every bug under the sun. It does work on a case-by-case basis, but a lot of the issues I'm finding are issues that a lot of players will experience. There has been things that I believe will be case-by-case and just affect me specifically, although I'm not entirely sure. But when it comes to me creating content like this, I don't just sit there, play the game, experience my bugs and go, look, there you go, there's a bug. I look at the bigger picture. It's not just about my experience and, oh, this game's really shit for me, I don't like it. I love the games I play, even if they are broken as shit. It's a really weird thing, but I get enjoyment out of broken games. Unless it gets to the point where the bugs really piss me off. When it's something like game breaking, if I got to the end of the story, then my save file corrupts, trust me, you're seeing a mega angry rant. But when I find all these bugs and these issues, I don't put out videos to say, my game's so bad, I don't like this, and just sit there and bitch and complain. When I put these videos out and I point out these bugs, they are warnings to say, look, you might enjoy the game, you might love it, you might not experience anything like what I've experienced, but just be careful because this stuff does exist. That's all I do. I show people the red flags. I leave it all entirely up to you. Sometimes I will say do not play this game because there are way more bugs, issues, problems, and severe technical problems, and it's in a state where it's not acceptable by a massive community. For an example, Battlefield 2042, with all the stability on breakthrough and stuff, that affected the majority of players. That was not acceptable. So I would say at that point, don't play breakthrough or something like that. But when it's smaller bugs, when they're not affecting me too bad, I will just say, look, do whatever you want to do, your money, your life, your decisions, but be careful. I'm putting out a warning, these issues are in the game. And I hope that makes sense, because I don't just do this to sit there and moan. I do this to help other people save their money from companies like Techland that will release their AAA titles that cost you £60 upwards in a really bad state. And I say £60 upwards. If you're in America, I believe the Ultimate Edition is $100. So $100 that could buy you at least 3 or 4 days worth of meals and food shopping for your entire family. And it's your hard-earned money too. If I could save you that money and stop you playing a broken game, and then 6 months later I bring you a video and say, look, they've done a lot of fixes, the game's in a much better state now, and you save a load of money on it, that makes me feel good. That's my goal for the whole of YouTube, for what I'm doing, is to help players save money, to stop players just blindly buying in to all of these issues. Because if you look at the problems in this game, issues with players that cannot sell valuables to vendors. Valuables are worth the most money in the game when you are selling them to vendors, and it's what helps you buy different consumables, different weapons, different pieces of gear. It helps you progress in the game, it makes you stronger, and there were issues where you couldn't sell it. They have story blocks, they have co-op connection stability issues, they have loads of different bugs and players being disconnected in co-op and crashes. The game is not in a good state in a lot of cases, so just be careful when you're playing this game. It's going to cost you a lot of money, whether you see it as a lot or not. £60, $100, whatever, it's a lot of money to put into a product that's broken. So just be careful. They are working on fixes. Whether or not they come into the game and actually fix things is a different story. But when there are things to point out, I will always come back to these games and I will point them out and I will help you guys out to the best of my ability and as much as I can. But these are improvements that Techland are ready to implement into the game and things they are working on. Whether they're acceptable or not, this is what they are doing in Dying Light 2. And that's going to wrap the video up. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.